Every repeated money pattern has an older sentence beneath it. The sentence may be so familiar that you no longer hear it as a sentence. It may feel like common sense. It may feel like caution. It may feel like maturity, responsibility, or realism. It may sound like your own voice because you have carried it for so long. There is never enough. People like us must struggle. Wanting more makes you selfish. Good things never last. You must work until you are exhausted before you deserve rest. It is safer not to expect too much. Someone else always gets the opportunity. You cannot trust yourself with important decisions. You should be grateful for whatever you get and never ask for better. These sentences can live quietly beneath years of effort. They do not have to be spoken aloud to influence the way you move. They can remain hidden while shaping what you accept, what you refuse, what you postpone, and what you believe is possible for you. Today, you are not here to criticize yourself for carrying an old sentence. You are here to hear it clearly. You are here to separate what you learned from what you consciously choose now. You are here to recognize that repetition is not proof. A sentence repeated for many years can still be untrue. A fear inherited from people you love can still be released with love. A pattern that once helped you feel protected does not have to direct the rest of your life. You may have spent years trying to change the visible parts of your experience without realizing that an old instruction was still operating underneath. You may have promised yourself that you would be more confident, more organized, more courageous, or more disciplined. You may have created plans, started again, and wondered why the same tension returned. The return of the tension does not mean you are incapable of change. It means the deeper sentence has not yet been answered. When you begin to answer it, you are not pretending that difficult circumstances do not exist. You are not denying practical pressures. You are not forcing yourself to feel cheerful when you are worried. You are changing the inner language that accompanies reality so that fear is no longer the only voice advising you. A fearful inner sentence can make every decision feel dangerous. A steadier inner sentence can help you look at the same decision with more patience, clarity, and self-respect. This is where the work begins, not with punishment, not with shame, not with the demand that you become a completely different person before the day ends. It begins with honesty. You may recognize the pattern when you check your balance and your whole body tightens before the number appears. Your breath becomes shallow, your jaw firms, your thoughts rush ahead, preparing for bad news even when nothing unexpected has happened. You may recognize it when you delay opening an envelope or reading an account statement because uncertainty feels less painful than confirmed information. You may recognize it when an ordinary purchase brings a wave of guilt that is far larger than the purchase itself. The item may be useful. The cost may be planned. You may have considered it carefully. Still, a voice inside says that you have done something irresponsible simply because you spent something on yourself. You may recognize it when you buy for others with ease, but struggle to meet your own needs without explaining, apologizing, or justifying every choice. You may recognize it when you undercharge for work you have done well. You tell yourself you are being kind, flexible, or humble. Beneath that explanation may be the fear that asking for a fair amount will make people leave, judge you, or decide you are difficult. You may recognize it when you prepare extensively, but hesitate to send the proposal, name the price, request the raise, apply for the opportunity, or ask a direct question. The hesitation may look like perfectionism. It may sound like, I just need a little more time. Sometimes more preparation is useful. Sometimes the repeated delay is an old sentence protecting itself. Do not ask for too much. Do not draw attention to yourself. Do not risk hearing no. Stay grateful for what you already have. You may recognize the pattern when someone offers help and your first response is to refuse. You may feel an immediate need to prove that you can handle everything alone. You may fear that accepting support creates a debt you can never repay. You may recognize it when a sincere compliment makes you uncomfortable. Instead of letting kind words land, you explain why your work was not really that impressive. You point out what went wrong. You redirect the praise toward someone else. You may recognize it when good news brings relief for only a few moments before your mind begins searching for the next problem. What if it disappears? What if I make a mistake? What if this is the last good thing? What if people expect more from me now? The pattern may not prevent every positive experience. It may prevent you from resting inside one. You may recognize it when you postpone joy until everything is settled. You tell yourself that you will breathe more freely after the next payment, the next project, the next result, the next month, or the next season. When one issue is resolved, another condition takes its place. Peace remains scheduled for later. Life remains something you will enter fully after uncertainty is gone. Uncertainty, however, is part of being alive. Waiting for its total disappearance can make you delay your own presence for years. This does not mean you should ignore responsibilities. It means responsibility and constant inner punishment are not the same thing. You can make a careful plan without speaking cruelly to yourself. You can review numbers without declaring yourself a failure. You can correct a mistake without turning the mistake into your identity. You can reduce an expense without treating your needs as evidence of weakness. You can seek more information without calling yourself foolish for not already knowing. You can ask for qualified help without surrendering your dignity. The old sentence often tries to make every practical matter personal. A late payment becomes, I can never do anything right. A lower month becomes, nothing works for me. A rejected proposal becomes, I should stop trying. An unexpected cost becomes, I am never safe. a moment of uncertainty becomes a prediction about the rest of your life. This is how one event becomes a verdict. You are learning to let an event remain an event. It may need attention. It may need action. It may need patience, advice, or a different approach. It does not need to become proof that you are unworthy of stability. It does not need to become proof that you are destined to struggle. You may also recognize the pattern in the way you compare yourself with others. Someone shares a promotion, a purchase, a new client, a successful project, or a milestone. Before you can feel happy for them, something inside contracts. Their progress seems to say something painful about your pace. You may judge yourself for this reaction. Meet it with honesty instead. Comparison often reveals the sentence beneath the surface. There is not enough room for both of us. Their progress means I am falling behind. Opportunities are disappearing. I missed my chance. Another person's success does not create these fears. It touches fears that were already waiting. You do not have to become endlessly positive about everyone's achievements. You can give yourself a moment. You can acknowledge disappointment. You can admit that you want something too. Wanting is not a moral failure. Desire can be information. It can show you where you want to grow, what you want to learn, what kind of support you need, and what next. The step deserves your attention. You may have learned to distrust desire because desire was connected with disappointment. If expecting something once led to pain, your mind may have decided that wanting less was safer. The protection makes sense. It may also be outdated. There is a difference between protecting yourself from every possible disappointment and building the strength to meet disappointment without abandoning yourself. One keeps your life small so that nothing can hurt you. The other lets you participate while knowing that your worth survives changing outcomes. You may recognize the pattern in overworking. You continue after your concentration has faded. You feel uneasy when you stop. Rest seems acceptable only when you are too depleted to continue. Even then, your body may be still while your thoughts remain busy listing everything unfinished. The older sentence may say that effort must hurt before it counts. It may say ease is suspicious. It may say someone will accuse you of laziness if you are not visibly exhausted. It may say your value must be proven every day. This can make you work beyond usefulness. It can lead you to confuse fatigue with commitment and tension with ambition. Rest does not replace effort. Rest helps effort remain clear. A calmer nervous system can review details more accurately. A rested mind can see options that panic overlooks. A person who pauses before responding may make a stronger decision than someone who reacts from urgency. You are not being asked to become passive. You are being invited to stop using self-threat as your main source of movement. Fear can create fast action. It rarely creates peaceful action. It may get you through a crisis. It cannot be your permanent manager without cost. You may recognize the pattern when you feel responsible for everyone around you. You may offer more than you can comfortably give because saying no feels cruel. You may rescue people from consequences, take on expenses that strain you, or agree to arrangements that leave you resentful. Generosity is meaningful when it has choice inside it. When giving is driven by fear, guilt, or the need to earn love, it becomes harder to know where kindness ends and self-erasure begins. You are permitted to care without taking responsibility for every outcome. You are permitted to pause before agreeing. You are permitted to ask what is sustainable. You are permitted to say, I cannot do that, but here is what I can do. A boundary is not a rejection of love. It is one way of keeping love honest. You may recognize the old pattern when you hide good news because you are afraid it will make other people uncomfortable. You make your progress smaller. You speak as though your effort was accidental. You avoid celebrating because someone else is having a difficult time. Compassion does not require you to dim every bright moment. You can be sensitive to another person's pain without denying your own progress. You can celebrate without boasting. You can be grateful without apologizing. You can remain connected to others without remaining identical to them. Sometimes the deepest fear is not that you will fail. It is that changing will alter the relationships built around the older version of you. You may wonder who you will be if you stop struggling in the familiar way. You may wonder whether people will still recognize you. You may wonder whether growth will be interpreted as rejection. These are tender questions. They deserve more than a slogan. Growth can change relationships. Clearer boundaries can surprise people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. A new level of confidence may feel unfamiliar to those who knew you mainly through your self-doubt. This does not mean you must become harsh. It means you cannot build a life around preventing everyone else from having feelings about your growth. You can move with care. You can explain when explanation is appropriate. You can listen without surrendering every decision. You can remain loving while becoming more truthful. The sentence beneath your pattern was usually formed long before you had the language to examine it. You listened at kitchen tables. You watched adults react to bills, prices, work, loss, and uncertainty. You heard tones before you understood words. You observed which subjects caused silence. You learned whether asking was welcomed or punished. You learned whether comfort was treated as normal, rare, suspicious, or undeserved. You learned from what was said directly. You also learned from what nobody explained. A child can see worry on a parent's face and decide, my needs cause pain. A child can hear repeated arguments and decide resources destroy relationships. A child can watch someone work without rest and decide love means sacrifice without limits. A child can hear wealthy people described with contempt and decide having more will make me a bad person. A child can watch every good period end in crisis and decide security is temporary, so I must never relax. These conclusions are not foolish. They are young attempts to understand complicated experiences. A child does not know the full story of employment, debt, social conditions, family history, limited options, or adult fear. A child looks for a rule that can make the world predictable. The rule may be inaccurate. It can still feel necessary. You may have carried such a rule into adulthood because it once gave shape to confusion. It helped you anticipate reactions. It told you how to avoid conflict. It offered a sense of control when you had very little actual control. There is no shame in that. You were learning from the environment available to you. The people around you were also shaped by environments available to them. They may have inherited fear from earlier generations. They may have lived through instability, displacement, unemployment, illness, discrimination, family obligation, or long periods when every decision truly carried weight. Understanding this does not require you to approve of every message you received. Compassion and discernment can exist together. You can say, they were doing what they knew. You can also say, I am choosing what continues. No one needs to become the villain for an old sentence to end. Blame is not required for change. Truth is required. You may have received loving care from people who also pass down fear. Human beings can offer protection in one area and limitation in another. A person can deeply love you and still teach you something they never had the chance to question. Your healing does not insult their struggle. It can honor their struggle by refusing to make fear the only inheritance. You can appreciate what helped your family survive and still choose a different inner language for the life you are building now. Survival wisdom has value. It can teach caution, preparation, patience, skill, cooperation, and respect for what is available. Fear becomes costly when every season is treated as an emergency, including seasons that call for learning, planning, negotiation, or steady growth. You are not rejecting practical wisdom. You are separating wisdom from alarm. Wisdom says, look carefully. Alarm says, something terrible is always about to happen. Wisdom says, make a plan. Alarm says, punish yourself until you feel in control. Wisdom says, ask for support. Alarm says, hide everything so no one can judge you. Wisdom says, learn from the mistake. Alarm says, the mistake proves you cannot be trusted. The difference matters. You may have believed that self-criticism kept you responsible. You may fear that kindness toward yourself will make you careless. Kindness is not the removal of accountability. It changes the tone in which accountability happens. A harsh voice may force you to look at something once. It can also make you avoid looking again because the emotional cost is too high. A respectful voice can help you return to the facts. It can say, "This needs attention, and I am capable of giving it attention." It can say, "I do not know the answer yet, and I can seek information." It can say, "I made a choice that did not help me. I can understand why and choose differently." It can say, "This situation is serious without making me worthless." That is not denial. That is steadiness. These affirmations support a healthier mindset. They are not financial advice, and they do not replace practical steps, careful planning, or qualified professional guidance. Real financial pressure deserves real support. If you are facing debt, legal obligations, housing insecurity, tax concerns, business risk, or decisions with lasting consequences, trustworthy professional help may be an important part of caring for yourself. Inner work and outer action can stand beside each other. You do not have to choose between a calmer mind and a practical plan. You may need both. A supportive sentence will not erase a bill. It may help you open the bill without collapsing into shame. It will not make every opportunity right for you. It may help you ask clearer questions before agreeing. It will not guarantee a result. It may help you recover from a result without turning against yourself. It will not replace skill. It may help you keep learning when you are not immediately excellent. It will not control other people's decisions. It may help you speak with dignity while making your own. This is how inner language influences the visible parts of life. What you repeatedly tell yourself shapes what you pay attention to. If the hidden sentence says, "Nothing ever works," your mind becomes highly skilled at collecting evidence of disappointment. Small improvements are dismissed. Helpful information is overlooked. One difficult result is remembered more strongly than several neutral or useful ones. If the sentence says, "I cannot handle this," you may avoid the very actions that would help you build confidence. You postpone the conversation. You do not ask the question. You leave the form unfinished. You refuse guidance because needing guidance seems like proof that the sentence is true. Avoidance creates less experience. Less experience can preserve doubt. The old sentence then points to the doubt and says, "See, this is not a personal defect. It is a cycle. Cycles can be interrupted." A new inner statement does not need to feel completely natural on the first day. It needs to be believable enough that you can practice it without feeling that you are betraying reality. You may not be ready to say, "I feel completely secure." You may be ready to say, "I am learning to face my responsibilities with greater calm." You may not believe every decision I make is perfect. You may believe I can pause, learn, and make a more informed choice. You may not feel ready for "I trust myself entirely." You may begin with, "I am rebuilding trust with myself through small, honest actions." A bridge sentence matters because it does not demand emotional performance. It gives your mind a direction. The purpose is not to shout over fear. The purpose is to become a trustworthy voice beside it. Fear may speak first because it has had more practice. You can answer. You can say, "I hear that you are trying to protect me." You can say, "We are going to look at the facts." You can say, "We do not need to predict a lifetime from one moment." You can say, "There may be a next step." You can say, "I can ask for help." You can say, "I can move carefully without humiliating myself." Each answer weakens the old assumption that fear is the only form of intelligence. Your choices are influenced by what you expect. If you expect rejection, before every request, you may soften your words until your request disappears. If you expect judgment whenever you name a fair need, you may agree too quickly. If you expect good periods to end suddenly, you may be unable to use those periods thoughtfully because all your attention is devoted to bracing. If you expect yourself to fail, you may interpret ordinary learning as proof that you should stop. Changing the inner sentence does not control the outcome. It changes the quality of your participation. You may prepare with more focus. You may communicate more clearly. You may recover more quickly. You may identify choices that were hidden by panic. You may recognize when an arrangement is not respectful. You may become more willing to learn the practical skills that once felt intimidating. You may stop treating every question as evidence that you are behind. You may begin to see knowledge as something people build, not something worthy people are born possessing. Courage is often quieter than you expected. It may look like opening the document. It may look like asking someone to explain a term. It may look like reviewing 1 month without condemning the previous year. It may look like declining an offer that does not fit. It may look like naming a price without immediately reducing it. It may look like accepting a reasonable form of support. It may look like resting before making a decision that deserves your full attention. These actions are small enough to be overlooked. They are also how trust is rebuilt. You do not rebuild trust with yourself through grand declarations alone. You rebuild it by making promises small enough to keep. You say you will look at the numbers for 10 minutes, and you do. You say you will ask one question, and you ask it. You say you will wait before agreeing, and you wait. You say you will speak to yourself without insults during a difficult task, and when an insult appears, you correct it. You say you will seek support where the matter exceeds your knowledge, and you begin looking for trustworthy guidance. Each kept promise tells your mind that you are becoming dependable to yourself. This dependability is not dramatic. It is valuable. The old sentence may still appear. Its appearance does not mean it is in charge. A thought can visit without becoming an instruction. A fear can speak without becoming a command. A memory can return without becoming a forecast. You are learning the difference between hearing an old message and obeying it. That difference is freedom in practice. You do not need to erase your history. You need to stop treating history as the only author of your future choices. The old sentence was learned through repetition. The new sentence will also need repetition. Not empty repetition, not forced cheerfulness. Repetition joined with action. Repetition joined with evidence. Repetition joined with the moment you pause before apologizing for a fair request. Repetition joined with the moment you open what you once avoided. Repetition joined with the moment you choose a boundary without attacking yourself. Repetition joined with the moment you accept that learning slowly is still learning. A sentence becomes stronger when your actions begin to recognize it. You are not required to transform every pattern at once. Choose one. Perhaps it is the held breath before checking. Perhaps it is the guilt after meeting an ordinary need. Perhaps it is the habit of saying yes before you have considered the cost. Perhaps it is the belief that rest must be earned through depletion. Perhaps it is the reflex to make your work smaller so no one feels challenged by your confidence. Choose the pattern that feels most present. Do not choose the one you think sounds most impressive. Choose the one that quietly shapes your days. Then ask what sentence lives beneath it. Ask without accusation. Ask as a person seeking useful information. What do I think will happen if I look directly? What do I think will happen if I ask clearly? What do I think will happen if I accept support? What do I think will happen if I stop over-explaining? What do I think will happen if I do well? What do I think will happen if I rest? What do I think will happen if I choose differently from the people who raised me? Let the answer be imperfect. It may arrive as a phrase. It may arrive as a body reaction. It may arrive as a memory of someone's tone. It may arrive as a rule you have never spoken aloud. You do not need to solve it immediately. Hearing it clearly is already movement. The sentence beneath the pattern has remained powerful, partly because it was unnamed. You are naming it now. You are bringing it into conscious choice. You are looking at it as an adult with more language, more perspective, and more options than you had when it first took shape. You can thank the old rule for trying to protect you. You can acknowledge the hard seasons that made it seem necessary. You can respect the people whose lives taught them to brace. Then you can decide that constant bracing is not the only way you will live. You can prepare without expecting disaster. You can care without abandoning yourself. You can act without threatening yourself. You can desire without becoming ashamed. You can learn without needing to know everything before you begin. You can make a responsible choice without making fear your identity. The deeper work is not to become a person who never feels uncertainty. It is to become a person who no longer disappears inside uncertainty. You remain present. You stay in conversation with yourself. You return to the facts. You seek support. You choose the next useful action. You refuse to make one difficult moment the definition of your entire life. The old sentence may have been repeated thousands of times. It is still a sentence. It is not a law. It is not your nature. It is not the final word. Long before the courtyard filled with footsteps, someone carved a place beneath it for what the sky would bring. The space was hidden under stone. It did not announce itself. It was not built for display. It was built to hold. Season after season, rain would fall across the roof, run through channels, and gather in the deep chamber below. The people living above might walk across the courtyard, prepare food, speak with neighbors, raise children, and continue their ordinary days while a quiet reserve rested beneath them. The wisdom was not in predicting exactly when the rain would come. The wisdom was in making room before it arrived. The builders understood that plenty could pass through a life without remaining unless there was somewhere prepared to keep it. They did not accuse the rain of being unreliable. They did not demand that every day become a storm. They shaped the stone. They cleared the passage. They protected the opening. They made a place where what arrived could be held with care. This old structure offers you a different way to understand your inner life. You may have focused for years on what is coming toward you while giving less attention to the part of you expected to hold it. You may have asked for a better opportunity while still believing that opportunities create danger. You may have wanted greater stability while feeling guilty whenever your life became more comfortable. You may have hoped to be supported while automatically refusing help. You may have wanted to be paid fairly while shrinking when it was time to speak about value. You may have wanted peace while keeping your mind trained to search for loss. The problem was not that you lacked desire. You may have lacked an inner place where desire could arrive without immediately being questioned, minimized, spent from fear, or pushed away. A reserve is not created by wishing harder. It is created by preparation. The stone chamber beneath the courtyard was shaped through patient work. Each surface had to be formed. Each weak point had to be understood. Each passage had to be placed so that water could enter without washing the whole structure away. Your inner preparation can be just as practical. You form a stronger place within yourself when you learn to look at facts without insult. You strengthen it when you keep a small promise to yourself. You strengthen it when you ask for information before making a decision. You strengthen it when you give yourself time to consider an offer. You strengthen it when you stop calling every need an emergency. You strengthen it when you let support reach you without immediately inventing a reason you do not deserve it. You strengthen it when you keep some part of your attention available for possibility instead of giving every part to fear. This does not happen all at once. Stone is shaped through repeated contact. Your inner capacity is shaped through repeated choices. The old sentence may have taught you to live as though nothing can be kept. Anything good must be used quickly. Anything stable will disappear. Any pause means danger. Any comfort must be justified. Any reserve will be taken. Any success will attract judgment. When these assumptions live underneath your choices, you may find it difficult to build a sense of enough even when you are acting responsibly. The difficulty is not proof that you are incapable. It shows where the inner chamber still needs care. Some parts may have been built around urgency. Some may have been built around guilt. Some may have been built around the expectation that you must give everything away to remain loved. Some may have been left unfinished because nobody taught you that keeping room for your own well-being was a responsible act. You can complete what was left incomplete. You can clear what became blocked. You can repair what was weakened by years of self-criticism. You can stop treating your capacity as something fixed. There is a difference between having nothing and having no place inside yourself that feels safe enough to hold something. That distinction matters. A person can receive praise and immediately reject it. A person can receive assistance and feel trapped by obligation. A person can receive a useful opportunity and become so afraid of losing it that they cannot think clearly. A person can earn more and still live with the same alarm because the inner structure has not changed. The outside event is real. The inside response is also real. When you care for the response, you are not pretending that circumstances do not matter. You are increasing your ability to meet circumstances with greater steadiness. The cistern did not control the weather. It changed what the household could do with the weather. Your new inner sentence will not control every outcome. It can change what you do with the choices, support, information, and chances that enter your life. It can help you pause before dismissing them. It can help you consider whether something fits. It can help you protect what is useful. It can help you release what is harmful. It can help you use what you have with less panic and more respect. A hidden reserve is not greed. It is care for the future. It is recognition that today's strength should not be spent as though tomorrow has no needs. It is the understanding that keeping something does not mean denying everyone else. It means refusing the old rule that your worth depends on emptying yourself. You may have learned to confuse goodness with depletion. You may have believed that the best person is the one who always gives first, gives most, and asks for nothing. You may have been praised for being easy to need and difficult to support. That praise can become a trap. You begin to fear that having boundaries will change how people see you. You begin to believe that keeping time, energy, attention, or resources for yourself is evidence of selfishness. You begin to offer from fear rather than choice. A protected reserve is not a wall against love. It gives love somewhere stable to stand. When you are not constantly empty, your generosity can become cleaner. You can give because you choose to give. You can say no without resentment. You can say yes without silently hoping someone will rescue you afterward. You can decide what is sustainable. You can let kindness include you. The people who carved the chamber beneath the courtyard did not apologize for the space it occupied. They understood its purpose. You are learning to understand the purpose of inner room. You need room to think before answering. You need room to recover after effort. You need room to learn without humiliation. You need room to change your mind when new information appears. You need room for a good result to be good before you begin predicting its end. You need room for help to reach you. You need room for your own needs to exist beside the needs of others. You need room for a future that is not only a repetition of the past. The old sentence may object. It may say that space is wasteful. It may say that rest is laziness. It may say that saving attention for yourself is unkind. It may say that you should use every available part of yourself immediately. You can answer without fighting. You can say that a life without reserve becomes vulnerable to every demand. You can say that preparation is not fear. You can say that enough space supports clearer decisions. You can say that keeping room does not make you less loving. You can say that stability deserves a place in you. The chamber under the courtyard was built in darkness, but it was not built from despair. It was built from foresight. There is a kind of hope that does not need to be loud. It prepares. It learns. It protects. It waits without collapsing. It does not assume that every season will be easy. It also does not assume that every season will be empty. It makes room for both truth and possibility. You can develop this kind of hope. It is not blind. It does not tell you to ignore a difficult number, sign an agreement without reading it, or trust every promise. It tells you that looking carefully is an act of self-respect. It tells you that learning is possible. It tells you that support can be evaluated rather than automatically refused. It tells you that one hard season does not have to become your permanent identity. It tells you that preparation can exist without constant dread. The stone chamber was useful because it was open to what could fill it. If it had been sealed completely, nothing could have entered. Protection without openness becomes isolation. Openness without protection becomes exhaustion. You are learning the balance. You can remain open without saying yes to everything. You can protect yourself without assuming everyone is dangerous. You can accept assistance without surrendering your judgment. You can pursue growth without treating every possibility as a command. You can keep room without filling it with the first thing that appears. This balance may feel new. New does not mean wrong. It means your inner structure is changing. At first, you may feel uncomfortable when you do not rush. You may mistake the absence of panic for irresponsibility. You may think, I should be more worried. You may believe worry proves that you care. Care can be calm. Care can review. Care can ask questions. Care can make a plan. Care can follow through. Worry is not the only evidence of seriousness. You can take something seriously without letting it consume every thought. The stone beneath the courtyard did not shake itself to prove that it was prepared. It remained ready. You can become ready in this way. Steady, clear, available to the next useful action. The old pattern may tell you that you must solve everything now. The deeper structure says, I can hold one step. The old pattern may tell you that you must know everything. The deeper structure says, I can hold one question. The old pattern may tell you that a mistake will destroy your progress. The deeper structure says, I can hold a lesson. The old pattern may tell you that a difficult feeling must be escaped. The deeper structure says, I can hold this feeling without becoming it. The old pattern may tell you that support will make you weak. The deeper structure says, I can hold support and remain myself. Capacity grows when you stop asking yourself to carry the whole future in one moment. Today does not need to contain every answer. It can contain the next honest choice. You may not know exactly how the coming months will unfold. You can still look at what is present. You can still protect what matters. You can still ask for guidance. You can still correct your direction. You can still create room. The concept of room may seem small compared with the size of your goals. It is not small. Every stable structure depends on space used with purpose. A stone chamber needs open space to serve its purpose. A cistern must contain an open chamber. Your mind also needs unoccupied space. Not every moment must be filled with prediction. Not every pause must be filled with self-judgment. Not every good development must be filled with fear of loss. Not every decision must be filled with the voices of people who are not living your life. Some space can belong to your own considered response. Some space can remain open while you gather information. Some space can hold a kinder possibility. You may have lived for a long time as though the only safe inner state was full alert. Your thoughts stayed busy because a stillness felt exposed. The activity may have given you a sense of control. It may also have made it difficult to hear what was useful. A crowded mind does not always know more. Sometimes it is repeating the same warning in many forms. You can ask the warning what it is protecting. You can listen for the original sentence. Then you can decide whether the warning is describing the present or repeating the past. This distinction may take practice. You are not expected to make it perfectly. You are becoming more curious about your reactions. Curiosity creates room. Instead of saying, "I am terrible with this," you can ask, "What part feels difficult?" Instead of saying, "I always ruin things," you can ask, "What happened in this choice?" Instead of saying, "I should have known," you can ask, "What can I know now?" Instead of saying, "I cannot face it," you can ask, "What support would help me face one part?" The question does not erase responsibility. It creates an entrance into responsibility. The rain needed an entrance. Your growth also needs one. Shame closes the opening. Respect clears it. Fear may still be present, but respect lets useful information pass through. You do not need perfect confidence before you begin. You need enough inner room to take one truthful step. The chamber was not created by one dramatic strike. It was shaped through continued work. Your new relationship with yourself will also be shaped through continued work. Each time you pause before calling yourself a failure, you remove a little of the old hardness. Each time you make a practical choice without turning it into a moral judgment, you clear the passage. Each time you let a compliment remain unanswered by self-dismissal, you keep something good. Each time you accept appropriate support, you let the reserve deepen. Each time you decline an arrangement that requires self-betrayal, you protect the structure. Each time you rest before exhaustion, you preserve what tomorrow may need. These choices may not look impressive from the outside. The cistern was mostly invisible too. Its value was not reduced by being unseen. Much of your most important progress will be private. No one may applaud the moment you open a document you have avoided. No one may know that you asked a clearer question. No one may see you interrupt an old thought before it becomes an attack. No one may recognize how difficult it was to accept a fair payment without guilt. No one may understand what it cost you to stop rescuing someone who needed to make their own decision. Private progress is still progress. The foundation of a different life is often built where nobody is watching. You may want evidence that your effort is working. Look for quieter evidence. You recover sooner after a difficult conversation. You delay less before looking at important information. You feel discomfort after setting a boundary, but you do not immediately it. You let yourself enjoy something useful without inventing a punishment. You speak about your work more clearly. You ask for time instead of agreeing under pressure. You recognize an old sentence before it directs the whole day. These are signs that the inner chamber is becoming stronger. Do not dismiss them because they are not dramatic. Stability is often made of small choices repeated with respect. There may be places where the stone still leaks. You may have one area where guilt enters quickly. You may have one relationship where boundaries disappear. You may have one type of decision that activates old panic. A weak point does not invalidate the whole structure. It gives you information about where care is needed. You do not need to attack the weak point. You can study it. When does it open? Whose voice appears? What fear follows? What do you usually do next? What practical support would change the pattern? What new sentence could accompany that support? This is how you repair without shame. You look, you understand, you act, you return. The old way may have demanded instant perfection. The new way values repair. A repaired structure is not a failed structure. It is a structure that has been cared for. You are also permitted to repair after a choice you regret. You may have agreed too quickly. You may have spent from emotion. You may have avoided a necessary conversation. You may have accepted less than you wanted because you feared losing everything. You may have given too much. You may have delayed seeking help. Regret can become information when it is not used as a weapon. Ask what the choice was trying to solve. Ask what need was underneath it. Ask what you did not know. Ask what you were afraid would happen. Then decide what can be repaired now. Some outcomes cannot be reversed. Your relationship with yourself can still be repaired. You can refuse to abandon yourself at the exact moment you most need steadiness. This is part of keeping room. You keep room for the imperfect version of you. You keep room for learning. You keep room for correction. You keep room for the fact that growth does not remove your humanity. The stone chamber did not require the water to be perfect. It received what came and held it for use. You do not need every part of yourself to be fully healed before you become worthy of support. You do not need complete certainty before you take a responsible step. You do not need to prove that you will never struggle again. You need a new agreement with yourself. The agreement is not that nothing difficult will happen. The agreement is that difficulty will not automatically turn you against yourself. The agreement is that good things will not automatically be pushed away. The agreement is that you will create room for steadiness before demanding proof that steadiness will last forever. The agreement is that you will practice holding what helps. Here is the new sentence. Let it arrive without force. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. You do not need to make it louder. You only need to hear it. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. Let the words meet the part of you that learned to expect emptiness. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. This sentence does not promise a sudden result. It gives your mind a new instruction. Keep room. Do not fill every inner space with fear. Do not give every available part of yourself away. Do not dismiss support before you understand it. Do not destroy a good moment by demanding that it guarantee the future. Do not confuse readiness with panic. Keep room for steadiness. Keep room for support. Keep room for a life that includes dignity, clear choices, useful skills, enough rest, and the ability to remain present. This idea may have been presented to you as excess, performance, or proof. You can define it more honestly. It can mean having enough inner stability to look at your life clearly. It can mean making choices that respect both today and tomorrow. It can mean learning to hold a good development without immediate guilt. It can mean being able to ask, plan, save, spend, pause, and seek guidance without making your worth depend on any single number. It can mean becoming less available to arrangements that rely on your fear. It can mean having the strength to take practical action while speaking to yourself as someone worth helping. This is steady well-being. It does not require you to become someone else. It asks you to become more present inside your own decisions. If the new sentence feels too far away, do not reject yourself. Use the bridge. I am becoming someone who keeps room for enough. Let that be honest. I am becoming. Not pretending, not rushing, not proving. Becoming. You become through the choices already in front of you. You become when you look without insult. You become when you pause before reacting. You become when you ask what is sustainable. You become when you let support be evaluated rather than feared. You become when you stop measuring goodness by exhaustion. You become when you protect a small reserve of energy for your own life. You become when you keep one promise. You become when you return after avoiding. You become when you choose repair over punishment. The bridge is not weaker because it is gradual. It may be the truest sentence available today. Truth repeated with care can reach deeper than an impressive statement you cannot yet accept. You can move from I am becoming to I am learning. You can move from I am learning to I can. You can move from I can to I do. There is no need to skip the steps. The stone was shaped one section at a time. Your capacity will deepen through cues. The first time you practice keeping room, you may only create a few seconds. Someone asks for an answer, and you pause. An old fear appears, and you breathe before obeying it. A useful opportunity arrives, and you resist the urge to disqualify yourself immediately. A difficult fact appears, and you decide to learn more before predicting disaster. Those seconds matter. They are the beginning of a chamber. They are evidence that the old sentence no longer has uninterrupted control. You can make the new sentence practical today. Before saying yes, keep room for consideration. Before saying no, keep room for understanding. Before judging yourself, keep room for context. Before spending, keep room for intention. Before refusing help, keep room for evaluation. Before reacting to a setback, keep room for the next useful step. Before minimizing a success, keep room for gratitude. Before giving everything away, keep room for your own continuing needs. This is how a sentence becomes a way of living. It is repeated in behavior. It becomes visible in what you stop doing. You stop answering immediately when time is available. You stop apologizing before stating a reasonable need. You stop treating confusion as incompetence. You stop volunteering to carry what was never yours. You stop using exhaustion as proof of commitment. You stop making fear sound like wisdom. You stop emptying yourself to preserve an image of goodness. The new way also becomes visible in what you begin. You begin asking for clarity. You begin making decisions from more complete information. You begin accepting that a slower answer may be a stronger answer. You begin protecting attention for the work that matters. You begin letting ordinary comfort exist without trial. You begin recognizing support as part of a responsible life. You begin building a relationship with enough that is not based only on numbers. The reserve beneath the courtyard served the whole household because someone respected what could not always be seen. Respect what is growing inside you before it becomes obvious to everyone else. Respect the pause. Respect the question. Respect the boundary. Respect the repair. Respect the small amount you keep. Respect the skill you are still learning. Respect the good moment you do not ruin with prediction. Respect the help you let reach you. These are not minor acts. They are how you prepare to hold more peace. The hidden chamber did not ask the courtyard to stop being a courtyard. Life continued above it. People walked. Work was done. Meals were made. Conversations changed. The reserve existed beneath ordinary living. Your new inner foundation can exist beneath ordinary living too. You do not need to withdraw from life until you feel completely healed. You can practice while answering messages, making plans, reviewing work, caring for others, and meeting responsibilities. The sentence, "It can remain beneath your day." I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. It can meet you when urgency rises. It can meet you when guilt appears. It can meet you when something good arrives. It can meet you when you are unsure. It can remind you that emptiness is not the price of love. It can remind you that readiness does not require fear. It can remind you that support and self-respect can exist together. It can remind you that you are not required to spend every part of yourself proving that you deserve to remain. You are building the ability to hold attention, to hold a boundary, to hold a lesson, to hold support, to hold a good moment, to hold your own dignity while taking practical action, to hold hope without demanding certainty. The old sentence told you that nothing stays. The new sentence does not argue about forever. It says that what is useful can be cared for today. That is enough for this step. Keep the passage clear. Keep the chamber protected. Keep room inside you. What arrives will still need discernment. What remains will still need care. What changes will still ask you to adapt. You are not seeking a life beyond responsibility. You are creating a steadier place from which to meet it. The stone beneath the courtyard was not a promise that rain would fall on command. It was proof that the household believed preparation was worthwhile. Your practice is the same kind of proof. Each respectful choice says that your future is worth preparing for. Each boundary says that your energy is worth protecting. Each honest look says that your life is worth understanding. Each request for qualified help says that your situation deserves informed care. Each accepted kindness says that you do not have to survive through isolation. Each calm return says that one difficult moment will not close the whole chamber. You are making room. You are becoming able to keep what supports you. You are becoming less afraid of enough. You are becoming more trustworthy to yourself. You are becoming someone who can stand in the courtyard of an ordinary day while knowing there is a deeper steadiness being built beneath every step. The ability to hold begins with the willingness to stop apologizing for having needs. This may sound simple until you recognize how often apology has been woven into your choices. You may apologize for asking a clear question. You may apologize for taking time to think. You may apologize for naming what your work requires. You may apologize for being tired. You may apologize for not being endlessly available. You may apologize before anyone has accused you of anything. The apology may arrive automatically, as though your presence creates an inconvenience that must be softened. This pattern rarely begins in adulthood. You may have learned early that being easy made life smoother for everyone else. You may have been praised for scarcity or not asking for much. You may have become skilled at reading the room, reducing your desires, and waiting until other people were comfortable before you admitted what you needed. That skill may once have protected connection. It can become painful when it follows you into every decision. You may begin to believe that support is acceptable for others, but excessive for you. You may believe that comfort must be defended with evidence. You may believe that asking for fair treatment places too much pressure on the people around you. The hidden sentence says, "My needs make me difficult." You can answer it now. Your needs do not make you difficult. They make you human. Not every need can be met immediately. Not every request will be accepted. Not every situation can give you what you hope for. Still, the existence of a need is not wrongdoing. You are permitted to name what is true before deciding what to do about it. You are permitted to say that an arrangement is tiring. You are permitted to admit that a price does not work for you. You are permitted to acknowledge that you need more information. You are permitted to recognize that your time has limits. You are permitted to consider yourself when making a decision that affects your life. This is not selfishness. It is participation. You belong inside the choices you make. For a long time, You may have made decisions as though everyone affected mattered except you. You considered their disappointment, their comfort, their urgency, their expectations, and their opinions. Your own well-being appeared last, if it appeared at all. You may have called this love. Sometimes it was love. Sometimes it was fear wearing the language of love. Fear says, if I disappoint them, I may lose connection. Fear says, if I ask for fairness, they may think I am greedy. Fear says, if I protect what I have, someone will suffer because of me. Fear says, if I do not rescue them, I am abandoning them. These fears deserve compassion. They do not deserve unquestioned authority. Love does not require you to become a bottomless source from which everyone draws while nothing is restored. Love needs truth. Love needs consent. Love needs the freedom to choose. When choice disappears, giving can become a form of self-erasure. You may continue to offer, but resentment begins collecting underneath. You may smile while your body tightens. You may say, "It is fine," while knowing that it is not fine. You may hope that someone will recognize the cost without your having to explain it. When they do not recognize it, the old sentence grows stronger. No one cares for me. The deeper truth may be that you never gave them the chance to meet a clear boundary because you were afraid to speak it. This is not a reason to blame yourself. It is a place to become more honest. Other people are responsible for how they respond. You are responsible for making your response visible enough to be known. Boundary cannot protect you if it exists only in your private frustration. It must eventually become language. I need time to consider this. I cannot commit to that amount. I can help in this way, but not in that way. This agreement no longer works for me. I need the details before I decide. This is what I can offer. Clear language may feel uncomfortable when your old safety came from being agreeable. Discomfort does not always mean danger. Sometimes it means you are doing something unfamiliar. The first boundary may shake as it leaves your mouth. It is still a boundary. The first clear request may be quieter than you intended. It is still a request. The first pause may feel far too long. It is still a pause. You do not need flawless confidence to practice self-respect. You need willingness. The old pattern may predict punishment. It may show you every possible reaction. Someone may become disappointed. Someone may question your decision. Someone may try to persuade you. Someone may prefer the version of you who did not ask for time. Their reaction is information. It is not automatic proof that your choice is wrong. You can listen. You can reconsider when new facts deserve reconsideration. You can correct your tone if you spoke harshly. You can repair misunderstanding. You do not have to surrender a necessary limit merely because another person dislikes it. A stone chamber keeps its purpose by having edges. Without edges, it cannot hold. Your life also needs edges. Your time needs an edge. Your attention needs an edge. Your work needs an edge. Your generosity needs an edge. Your responsibility needs an edge. Edges do not make you cold. They help you know where choice begins. The older sentence may say, "If I keep something for myself, there will not be enough for others." This idea can turn every act of self-care into a private trial. You may feel guilty for resting while someone else is working. You may feel guilty for declining when someone else is struggling. You may feel guilty for experiencing relief during another person's difficult season. You may feel guilty when your circumstances improve. You may believe that loyalty requires you to remain at the emotional level of the people you love. Loyalty does not require shared suffering without end. You can remain compassionate without recreating every hardship. You can remain connected without refusing your own growth. You can remember where you came from without rebuilding every limitation. You can honor sacrifice without making sacrifice your permanent identity. The people before you may have created what little room they could. Your responsibility is not to prove your love by refusing to use it. Your responsibility is to continue building with care. The cistern beneath the courtyard was not an insult to the years of drought. It was a response to them. Preparation honored Diffie, culti by learning from it. Your steadier choices can do the same. You do not honor past struggle by making struggle endless. You honor it by gaining wisdom without worshiping pain. Pain can teach. Pain does not need to become your only teacher. You can also learn through support. You can learn through careful planning. You can learn through good mentorship. You can learn through repetition that does not humiliate you. You can learn through observing what works. You can learn through asking before a crisis forces the question. There may be a part of you that distrusts anything that feels easier. This part may say that ease means you missed something. It may expect a hidden cost. It may become restless when a process is straightforward. It may add complications because complication feels familiar. You can speak to that part with patience. You can say, easy does not always mean unsafe. You can say, a clear agreement is not a trap simply because it is clear. You can say, support can be real without being perfect. You can say, I do not have to create a problem to prove that I am paying attention. You can say, I can evaluate what is here. Discernment does not require suspicion toward everything. It requires looking carefully enough to separate what is useful from what is not. Suspicion closes every entrance. Discernment protects the entrance while keeping it available. You are becoming more discerning about what enters your life. You do not need to accept every offer because it appears generous. You do not need to reject every offer because accepting feels vulnerable. You can ask questions. What is expected? What is promised? What is documented? What responsibility will remain with you? What happens if circumstances change? What support is actually available? What are the limits? These questions are not negative. They are part of building something that can last. Your inner work does not ask you to become naive. It asks you to become less ruled by shame. Shame rushes. Shame hides. Shame agrees without reading. Shame refuses to ask because it fears looking uninformed. Shame makes every conversation about proving worth. Self-respect can move more slowly. Self-respect can say, I need clarification. Self-respect can admit, I do not understand this part. Self-respect can seek qualified guidance when the matter is beyond present knowledge. Self-respect can walk away from pressure disguised as urgency. Self-respect can return with a better question. The sentence you are practicing supports these actions. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. Keep room for facts. Keep room for thought. Keep room for advice from people whose training and ethics deserve trust. Keep room for your own response after the loudest voice has finished speaking. Keep room for the possibility that you do not have to solve everything alone. There may be guilt when you first seek help. You may think that competent people should already know. This is another old sentence. No one is born understanding every system that affects adult life. People learn through teaching, practice, mistakes, examples, and support. Complex matters are complex. Needing explanation is not a sign of weakness. It is often a sign that you are taking the matter seriously. You can ask a financial counselor, accountant, legal professional, trusted advisor, or other qualified person for guidance appropriate to your circumstances. You can compare information. You can ask about fees, credentials, risks, and limits. You can take time before acting. The affirmation does not replace these steps. It can help you approach them without treating yourself as a failure. You may need to create a budget. You may need to renegotiate a commitment. You may need to reduce an expense. You may need to review what is recurring. You may need to ask for a payment plan. You may need to learn a new skill. You may need to request fair compensation. You may need to leave an arrangement that repeatedly disrespects your limits. The right step will depend on your actual situation. The inner sentence does not decide for you. It helps you remain present enough to decide. You are not using positive language to hide from reality. You are using respectful language so that reality can be faced more clearly. There is courage in looking at what is true without adding cruelty. You may have believed cruelty was necessary because it created urgency. Fix this now, or you are hopeless. Do not make another mistake. You should have known better. This proves you will never change. These statements may produce a temporary burst of action. They also teach your mind that every review will become punishment. Eventually, avoidance becomes protection from your own voice. A kinder sentence changes the meeting place. This deserves attention. I can look at one part. I may need support. I can correct what is possible. I will not use this moment to destroy trust with myself. The issue remains real. Your dignity remains real too. Both can be held. This is one of the most important capacities you are building. You can hold concern without becoming panic. You can hold regret without becoming shame. You can hold ambition without becoming self-rejection. You can hold a desire for more stability without declaring the present unworthy. You can hold gratitude and still want change. You can hold love for your family while choosing a different pattern. You can hold responsibility and rest in the same life. The old mind may prefer extremes. Either you are grateful or you want more. Either you are generous or you have boundaries. Either you are careful or you trust. Either you accept yourself or you improve. Either you face reality or you use affirmations. The deeper chamber has room for more than one truth. You can appreciate what is here and prepare for what is next. You can give and keep enough to remain whole. You can be cautious and remain open. You can accept yourself and correct a harmful habit. You can use supportive language and take concrete action. Wholeness is not choosing one side of every human tension. It is learning to carry complexity without abandoning yourself. You may have spent years trying to become worthy of ease. You promised that after enough work, enough sacrifice, enough usefulness, or enough proof, you would finally let yourself rest. The requirement kept moving. Every achievement created another test. Every completed task revealed another reason to delay relief. You may have reached moments you once dreamed about and still felt unable to settle. The problem was not that you had failed to do enough. The rule itself was designed without an ending. You may rest when everything is done. Everything is never done. Life continues. Needs return. Work changes. People ask, bodies require care. Plans need adjustment. If rest depends on final completion, rest will always remain out of reach. You need a different rule. I rest enough to continue with clarity. This rule does not ask you to abandon responsibility. It recognizes that you are part of what must be maintained. The courtyard needed care. The channels needed clearing. The chamber needed inspection. The household could not benefit from the reserve if nobody protected the structure. You also require maintenance, sleep, food, movement, quiet, connection, medical care when needed, time without performance. A mind given the chance to come down from constant alert. These are not rewards for being useful. They support your ability to live. You may not always have ideal access to every form of care. Circumstances can place real limits on time, safety, health services, privacy, and choice. Compassion must include those realities. Begin with what is genuinely available. A pause before answering. A glass of water, a few minutes away from the screen. A clearer request, an earlier boundary. One practical appointment. A conversation with someone trustworthy. A decision not to use insults while solving a problem. Small acts are not offered as a cure for structural pressure. They are ways of refusing to add unnecessary inner harm to outer difficulty. You deserve that refusal. You deserve to stop making every hard condition harder through self-contempt. You may not have chosen the pressure. You can choose not to become another source of pressure against yourself. The word deserve may bring resistance. A voice may say, "What have I done to deserve care?" Care is not a medal. It is a condition that helps human beings function. You do not need to prove your worth before using what supports your health, clarity, and responsible action. You may still have to prioritize. You may still have to wait. You may still face limits. Worthiness does not guarantee access. It means lack of access is not proof that you are undeserving. This distinction protects your dignity in difficult seasons. Circumstances can be unfair. Systems can be confusing. Opportunities can be uneven. Hard work does not always produce equal outcomes. The affirmation must never be used to blame you for realities you did not create. You are not struggling because you failed to think correctly. You are not responsible for every barrier. Your mindset is one influence among many. It can shape how you respond, what you seek, what you ask, and how you recover. It cannot control the entire world around you. This honest understanding makes the practice stronger. You do not need fantasy. You need a sentence that respects both your power and your limits. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. The sentence does not say you control every season. It says you can shape your inner structure. It does not say every door will open. It says you can approach doors without automatically calling yourself unworthy. It does not say every plan will succeed. It says a changing result does not require the destruction of self-trust. It does not say support will always arrive in the form you expect. It says you can become more able to recognize, evaluate, and accept appropriate help. It does not say uncertainty will vanish. It says uncertainty does not need every room inside you. This is a mature hope. It gives neither fear nor fantasy complete control. It keeps the passage clear. You may feel resistance when repeating the new sentence because the old sentence believes it is protecting you. Do not attack the resistance. Ask what it fears. It may fear disappointment. It may fear judgment. It may fear becoming like someone who misused power. It may fear leaving loved ones behind. It may fear that having more responsibility will become unbearable. It may fear that support will be withdrawn after you depend on it. Each fear deserves a truthful response. You can say, I will not use hope to deny risk. You can say, I can grow without becoming cruel. You can say, I do not have to abandon anyone to stop abandoning myself. You can say, I can increase responsibility gradually. You can say, I will build more than one source of support where possible. You can say, I can appreciate help without giving away my judgment. Resistance becomes less frightening when it is understood as protection rather than sabotage. The part of you that says no may not hate your future. It may be trying to prevent a repetition of old pain. Show it that the new path contains care. Show it through action. Do not force a major decision because you want to prove you have changed. Change can be measured by greater consideration. D. O. Not accept an offer merely to prove you are open. Openness includes the right to decline. Do not spend beyond your comfort to prove you trust life. Trust includes responsible limits. Do not ignore warning signs because you want to feel positive. A supportive mindset makes room for warning signs without turning every sign into catastrophe. The new structure is balanced, open, protected, deep enough to hold, clear enough to inspect. You are learning to trust preparation more than panic. Preparation looks at what is known. It identifies what is missing. It asks who can help. It chooses a next action. It leaves room for revision. Panic demands certainty before certainty is available. When certainty does not arrive, panic creates a terrible prediction and calls it preparation. You can interrupt this. Ask, what do I know? Ask, what am I assuming? Ask, what can I verify? Ask, what decision is actually required today? Ask, what can wait? Ask, whose qualified guidance would be useful? These questions return your attention to the chamber you are shaping. You do not have to carry imaginary disasters alongside the real task. The real task may already be heavy. Let it be the size it truly is. Do not enlarge it with every possible future. Do not shrink it through denial. Hold its actual size. This is steadiness. You may discover that some of your urgency came from living without a trusted process. Every decision felt new. Every challenge seemed personal. Every setback required you to invent a response while afraid. A simple process can become part of your reserve. Pause. Gather facts. Name the decision. Seek appropriate guidance. Consider the effects. Choose what fits the available information. Review later. This process cannot guarantee perfection. It can reduce the habit of reacting from the oldest sentence in the room. You are permitted to have a process. You are permitted to repeat what helps. You are permitted to become less dramatic inside your own mind. Calm may feel unfamiliar. Practice it anyway. At first, calm may not feel like peace. It may feel like silence after years of noise. You may not know what to do with the silence. Do not rush to fill it. Let it become room. Let one breath remain only a breath. Let one good moment remain only good. Let one question wait until facts are available. Let one compliment enter without correction. Let one boundary stand without 10 explanations. Let one useful step count. This is how the reserve grows. Not through a demand that your whole life change immediately. Through moments that no longer leak away. A good moment kept, a lesson kept, a limit kept, a promise kept, a little energy kept for tomorrow, a little patience kept for the conversation that matters, a little dignity kept during a mistake, a little hope kept during uncertainty. You are not hoarding life. You are learning not to empty yourself automatically. The difference is choice. Choice restores meaning to both giving and keeping. You can give from what is truly available. You can keep what supports continuity. You can change the amount when circumstances change. You can communicate. You can reconsider. You can repair. This is a living structure, not a rigid rule. There will be times when generosity asks more from you. There will be times when your own needs must come first. There will be emergencies. There will be ordinary days. Wisdom is not using the same response in every season. Wisdom is being present enough to recognize the season you are in. The old sentence treated every season as shortage. The new sentence leaves room to assess. What is needed now? What can be offered? What must be protected? What can be delayed? What requires help? What is enough for today? Enough for today may not be enough forever. It does not have to be. Today is the part of life currently asking for your participation. Meet it with the capacity you have. Strengthen that capacity where you can. Do not call yourself a failure because you cannot carry a year in one afternoon. You were not built to do that. The stone chamber held what its walls could contain. Its limits were part of its usefulness. You are useful because you have limits, not despite them. Limits help you choose. Limits help you prioritize. Limits reveal when support is needed. Limits prevent a temporary demand from consuming everything. You may have feared that admitting a limit would make you less valuable. A hidden limit does not disappear. It becomes exhaustion, resentment, error, withdrawal, or collapse. An acknowledged limit can become a plan. You can say, "This is what I can manage." You can say, "This requires another person." You can say, "I need more time." You can say, "I cannot continue at this pace." These sentences create the possibility of adjustment. Silence creates the appearance that the current arrangement is sustainable. Your truth gives life a chance to respond. The response may not be perfect. It is still better to work with what is true. You are building a life that can hold truth. Truth about what you need. truth about what you can offer, truth about what you fear, truth about what you want, truth about what you do not yet know, truth about what practical support may be necessary. The chamber becomes stronger when truth is permitted inside it. You do not need to decorate the truth. You do not need to turn it into a judgment. This is where I am. This is what is happening. This is the next responsible step I can see. This is enough to begin. The sentence remains beneath you. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. Let it support a slower weir. Let it support a clearer boundary. Let it support a practical appointment. Let it support an honest review. Let it support a period of rest before the next decision. Let it support the dignity of asking. Let it support the wisdom of declining. Let it support the courage to return after avoidance. You are not trying to become fearless. You are becoming less likely to leave yourself alone with fear. You stay. You listen. You check the facts. You ask for help. You choose the next step. You preserve your dignity. The courtyard above you remains active. Daily life continues. Demands appear. Plans change. People speak. Through it all, a deeper structure is forming. A place in you that does not collapse every time uncertainty arrives. A place that can hold both caution and possibility. A place that does not confuse guilt with goodness. A place that knows practical action and inner kindness belong together. A place that remembers you are included in the life you are trying to support. You are included. Your needs are included. Your future is included. Your rest is included. Your learning is included. Your voice is included. Your dignity is included. Keep room for all of it. There is another kind of room you are learning to keep. It is the room that remains after something good reaches you. For many people, the difficult part is not only asking. It is staying present after the answer is yes. A compliment arrives and you rush to reduce it. An opportunity appears and you immediately search for the reason it cannot last. Someone offers support and you begin calculating how quickly you must repay the kindness so that you do not feel exposed. A fair amount is offered for your work, and part of you wonders whether accepting it makes you demanding. Relief enters and guilt follows close behind. This is how the old pattern tries to empty the chamber as soon as it begins to fill. It may tell you that receiving creates danger. It may say that every gift has a hidden invoice. It may say that comfort makes you careless. It may say that being supported will make others resent you. It may say that if you enjoy what is here, you will be punished when it changes. The sentence is not always clear. Sometimes it appears only as restlessness. You finally have a quiet hour and you cannot use it. You finally receive appreciation and you feel embarrassed. You finally make a choice that supports you and you spend the next day defending it in your mind. Nothing outside has gone wrong. The discomfort is coming from an older rule about what you are permitted to hold. You can begin changing that rule without forcing yourself to feel instantly comfortable. You can say, "This is unfamiliar, and I can remain here." You can say, "I do not have to make this smaller." You can say, "I can accept what is appropriate without losing my judgment." You can say, "A good moment does not require an apology." You can say, "I am not taking from someone merely because I am supported." You can say, "I can let this help me." These sentences do not remove discernment. They restore proportion. You still consider where an offer comes from. You still ask what is expected. You still protect yourself from manipulation. You still read the agreement. You still decide whether the situation is healthy. The new practice is not blind acceptance. It is the end of automatic refusal. There is a difference. Automatic refusal is fear deciding before you have looked. Discernment is you looking and deciding. The ability to receive includes the ability to say no. You are not open because you accept everything. You are open because you can meet what arrives without immediately disappearing into an old reaction. You stay long enough to understand. You stay long enough to ask. You stay long enough to choose. That is inner capacity. You may have been taught that accepting help means you are weak. Look at what help actually makes possible. A clear explanation can prevent an avoidable mistake. A second set of eyes can reveal something you missed. A practical introduction can connect you with the right person. A sincere conversation can return perspective when fear has narrowed your view. A professional can help you understand a matter that would be difficult to navigate alone. Support does not erase your agency. The healthiest support strengthens it. It gives you more information. It helps you see options. It leaves the decision where it belongs. You are permitted to seek that kind of support. You are also permitted to leave support that demands control, silence, or endless obligation. The chamber beneath the courtyard was protected from contamination. Not everything that flowed toward it was permitted to remain. Care included selection. Your inner life deserves the same care. Some words nourish, some words disturb. Some advice clarifies. Some advice increases dependence. Some people respect your judgment. Some people need you to doubt yourself so that their influence can continue. You are learning to tell the difference. The old pattern may have taught you to distrust yourself so completely that any confident voice seemed more qualified than your own. You may have followed pressure because pressure sounded certain. You may have mistaken urgency for expertise. You may have accepted another person's fear as fact. You can slow the process. You can ask for evidence. You can compare sources. You can ask what the person gains from your agreement. You can ask what alternatives exist. You can ask for time. You can choose not to act while important details remain unclear. This is not hesitation for its own sake. It is self-respect becoming practical. You are also learning that support can come in forms you once overlooked. It can be a schedule that reduces confusion. It can be a written agreement. It can be a reminder. It can be a system that helps you review regularly instead of only during crisis. It can be a conversation held before resentment builds. It can be a skill learned slowly. It can be a small amount set aside for a known need. It can be a boundary placed around distraction. It can be the decision to stop relying on panic as your organizer. Support is not always another person carrying you. Sometimes it is the structure you create so that you do not have to carry everything in your head. The courtyard was easier to live in because the reserve beneath it had a clear purpose. Your days become easier to navigate when decisions have a place to go. You can create a regular time to review. You can write down what needs attention. You can separate what is urgent from what is merely loud. You can identify who needs to be contacted. You can record questions before speaking with a professional. You can build a simple routine that returns you to facts. A routine is not a guarantee. It is a container. It reduces the number of times you must begin from confusion. You may resist structure because structure was once used against you. Rules may have felt rigid. Schedules may have been connected with punishment. Authority may have ignored your needs. You do not have to recreate those systems. You can build structure that serves rather than controls. A useful structure has flexibility. It can change when reality changes. It can include rest. It can make room for your actual capacity. It can support your values instead of demanding performance for appearance. You are not building a prison. You are shaping a place where your energy is less likely to leak away. The old sentence may say, "I should be able to remember everything." The new response says, "I can use tools." The old sentence may say, "I should not need reminders." The new response says, "Reminders help important things receive attention." The old sentence may say, "A capable person handles everything alone." The new response says, "A capable person knows when systems and support are useful." You do not become more worthy by making every task harder. You do not prove intelligence by refusing assistance. You do not prove strength by waiting until you are overwhelmed. There is dignity in preparing before the crisis. There is wisdom in creating room before you need it. The stone chamber was carved before the driest day. Its existence did not cause drought. It made the household more able to respond. You may fear that planning for difficulty invites it. This fear can make practical preparation feel negative. Preparation is not a prediction. A boundary is not an expectation of betrayal. A reserve is not an expectation of loss. A question is not an accusation. A written agreement is not a lack of trust. Saint, these can be forms of care. Healthy trust does not require vagueness. Healthy trust can survive clarity. It can welcome questions. It can name expectations. It can make room for changes. It can respect a no. When clarity threatens a relationship, the problem may not be your need for clarity. You are becoming less willing to call confusion love. You are becoming less willing to call pressure generosity. You are becoming less willing to call depletion loyalty. These changes may affect how some people respond to you. A person who benefited from your immediate yes may not celebrate your thoughtful pause. A person who relied on your guilt may call your boundary selfish. A person who preferred your uncertainty may question your new confidence. You do not need to answer every reaction. You need to remain honest. Ask whether your decision is respectful. Ask whether it is sustainable. Ask whether you are acting from facts rather than revenge. Ask whether your language is clear. If the answer is yes, let the discomfort pass through without dismantling the whole structure. The chamber does not need to be destroyed because someone preferred the courtyard without it. Your life can include care for others and care for yourself. These do not need to compete every time. You can contribute without disappearing. You can help without taking over. You can listen without agreeing. You can love without financing every consequence. You can be compassionate without becoming responsible for another adult's choices. You can offer information without forcing a result. You can remain present without becoming endlessly available. The old pattern may accuse you of becoming hard. Look closely. Hardness refuses connection. A boundary protects the conditions in which connection can remain honest. Hardness punishes. A boundary informs. Hardness withholds to control. A boundary limits what is not sustainable. You can be warm and clear. You can be generous and measured. You can care deeply and still say no. These are not contradictions. They are mature forms of relationship. You may need practice before they feel natural. Begin with lower risk moments. Ask for time before answering a small request. Name a preference where you usually remain silent. Decline one obligation that does not belong to you. Accept one compliment without correcting it. Let someone complete a task they offered to do. Receive a kindness without immediately matching it. These small moments teach your system that support and safety can exist together. The lesson grows through evidence. You accept help and remain yourself. You state a need and the relationship survives. You set a limit and discover that discomfort passes. You receive appreciation and nothing terrible follows. You rest and find that responsibility still wait, without condemning you. Evidence matters because the old sentence was built through lived experience. A new sentence becomes trustworthy when it is also joined with experience. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. The words become stronger when you keep one promise. They become stronger when you ask one clear question. They become stronger when you protect 1 hour from unnecessary demand. They become stronger when you accept appropriate help. They become stronger when you look at something difficult and refuse to insult yourself. They become stronger when you let enough be enough for one day. You do not have to perform the sentence. You practice it. Practice includes awkwardness. Practice includes forgetting. Practice includes returning. You may repeat an old reaction. You may say yes too quickly. You may minimize yourself. You may refuse something useful. You may spend a day in worry before remembering the new way. Return without drama. The moment you return is part of the practice. You are not back at the beginning. You are at the point where awareness became available again. Use it. Ask what happened. Ask what you needed. Ask what can be repaired. Ask what one step would strengthen trust now. You may need to send a message. You may need to clarify an agreement. You may need to acknowledge that you overcommitted. You may need to apologize without attacking yourself. You may need to change a plan. You may need to seek advice. You may need to rest before doing any of these. Repair is not evidence of failure. Repair is what makes long-term trust possible. The courtyard stones would shift over time. Channels could fill with debris. Cracks could appear. Care meant returning to the structure again and again. Your inner work also requires maintenance, not because you are broken, because you are alive. Life brings new situations. Old fears meet new forms. A pattern you thought was finished may appear under different pressure. This is not betrayal. It is another place where care is needed. You can respond with experience now. You have language. You have questions. You have the memory of times you remained present. You have evidence that an old thought can be heard without being obeyed. You have a sentence that returns you to room. Use it when pressure tries to fill every space. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. Use it when guilt follows relief. Use it when you feel compelled to give an immediate answer. Use it when another person's urgency enters your body. Use it when support appears and you want to push it away. Use it when you are tempted to call yourself incapable for needing guidance. Use it when a mistake tries to become an identity. The sentence is not a charm. It is a direction. Keep some room. Keep room for clear facts. Keep room for dignity. Keep room for guidance. Keep room for a different response. Keep room for the possibility that fear does not know everything. There is one more form of guilt that deserves your attention. It is the guilt of outgrowing an old role. You may have been the one who needed little, the one who solved problems, the one who never complained, the one who stayed calm for everyone else, the one who accepted less, the one who carried the emotional weight. Changing can feel like breaking an agreement no one openly discussed. The agreement may have said, "You will remain easy so the rest of us do not have to change." You are permitted to leave that agreement. You are permitted to become more visible. You are permitted to ask for reciprocity. You are permitted to say that being capable does not make you endlessly available. You are permitted to stop proving love through strain. Some relationships may adjust. Some may deepen. Some may reveal limits you did not want to see. Let the truth arrive gradually. You do not need to make every decision today. Keep room to observe. Keep room to speak. Keep room to listen. Keep room to choose what preserves dignity. Your growth is not an accusation against anyone else. It is your response to what you now understand. You may love people who continue to live by old sentences. You do not have to argue with them. You do not have to convince them. You can live your own practice. You can speak differently around your children, friends, or family. You can stop turning every cost into panic. You can stop treating every desire as foolish. You can speak about planning without shame. You can let a child ask a question without making the question dangerous. You can let another person see you seek guidance. You can show that mistakes can be discussed without humiliation. This is how a different inheritance begins, not through perfection, through language, through tone, through the way you respond when pressure enters the room. You become evidence that responsibility and kindness can exist together. You become evidence that preparation does not require dread. You become evidence that boundaries do not cancel love. You become evidence that support does not erase strength. The old sentence loses power when it is no longer the only sentence spoken. You are adding another voice, a steadier voice, a voice that does not promise what it cannot guarantee. A voice that says, "We will look." A voice that says, "We can ask." A voice that says, "We can take one step." A voice that says, "We will not turn against ourselves." This voice may be quiet. Quiet does not mean weak. The deepest chambers are quiet. They do their work without spectacle. Your progress does not need to look dramatic to be real. A person who once avoided may now review. A person who once apologized may now pause. A person who once gave everything may now keep enough to continue. A person who once refused help may now ask one careful question. A person who once used shame may now use truth. These shifts change the direction of a life. They affect choices downstream. They affect what you tolerate. They affect what you learn. They affect how quickly you recover. They affect whether a hard moment becomes a week of self-attack or an hour of honest attention. You do not control every outcome. You can influence the way you meet outcomes. That influence matters. If this practice feels like the beginning of a different relationship with yourself, leave the word "rising" in the comments. Let the word be simple. not a promise of instant transformation. A mark that you are no longer willing to let the old sentence speak alone. You are rising into clearer participation. You are rising into a steadier voice. You are rising into a life where care includes you. The chamber beneath the courtyard was built because someone believed what arrived should not be wasted. Your attention should not be wasted on endless self-attack. Your energy should not be wasted proving that you deserve to exist. Your good moments should not be wasted preparing for punishment. Your lessons should not be wasted by turning them into shame. Your support should not be wasted because accepting feels unfamiliar. Keep what helps. Use what teaches. Release what controls. Repair what can be repaired. Ask where knowledge is needed. Rest where strength must be restored. Let dignity remain. You are not becoming careless. You are becoming less frightened by your own needs. You are not becoming selfish. You are becoming more honest about what you can sustain. You are not rejecting responsibility. You are refusing to use responsibility as a reason for cruelty. You are not waiting for rescue. You are letting appropriate support stand beside your own effort. The new sentence remains. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. Let it settle deeper, not as a demand, as a structure, not as a fantasy, as a way of meeting the day, not as proof that nothing difficult will happen, as a promise that difficulty will not receive every room inside you. Some room remains for thought. Some room remains for help. Some room remains for repair. Some room remains for hope. Some room remains for you. You are learning to keep what steadies you long enough for it to become part of your life. At first, the new sentence may feel like something you visit. You repeat it. You feel a little calmer. Then the old reaction returns. This does not mean the sentence failed. It means the inner structure is still being used in familiar ways. A chamber does not deepen because one drop enters it. It deepens in usefulness because it is returned to, protected, cleared, and trusted through many seasons. Your practice will become more natural in the same way. You return when fear appears. You return when shame appears. You return when the old sentence makes a convincing argument. You return when you forget. You return when you have acted from habit. You return after a difficult conversation. You return after a good development that stirred unexpected guilt. Returning is not a sign that you have gone backward. Returning is the skill. You may have imagined healing as a point beyond which old thoughts never appear again. A more honest measure is this. When they appear, how quickly do you recognize them and how kindly do you respond? An old thought may still arrive. You recognize it sooner. A difficult feeling may still rise. You do not build your whole identity around it. A familiar fear may still ask you to hide. You pause before agreeing. This is movement. The old sentence once operated without being questioned. Now it is being heard by a person who can answer. You do not need a perfect answer. You need one that does not abandon you. I understand why I am afraid. I will look at what is true. I will take the next responsible step. I will not punish myself while learning. These responses build a different inner habit. The habit is not endless reassurance. It is steady companionship with yourself. You may not always feel strong. You can still remain beside yourself. You may not always know what to do. You can still refuse humiliation. You may not always have immediate support. You can still leave room to seek it. You may not always feel hopeful. You can still avoid making hopelessness the only conclusion available. This is how dignity becomes more than an idea. It becomes the tone in which you meet your own life. The old sentence may have used dignity as a reward. You could feel worthy only after the problem was solved. You could respect yourself only after the result improved. You could speak kindly only after you had proved that you would never repeat the mistake. This kept respect far away during the moments you needed it most. You are changing that order. Respect comes first. Not because the situation is perfect, because respect helps you meet the situation. You speak to yourself as someone worth helping. You look at the details as someone capable of learning. You make a plan as someone whose future matters. You seek guidance as someone who deserves informed support. You rest as someone whose energy is part of the plan. You set limits as someone who is included in the outcome. This is the new order. Dignity first, then action, then review, then adjustment. This does not make you passive. It makes your action less contaminated by self-rejection. When action is driven only by panic, you may move quickly but without proportion. You may agree too soon. You may avoid necessary questions. You may choose the first and escape instead of the most useful next step. You may make a temporary problem more expensive because relief feels urgent. A calmer inner voice creates a little space. Inside that space, judgment can return. You can ask whether the decision fits. You can ask what happens next. You can ask whether the terms are clear. You can ask what your future self will need. The old sentence often thinks only about immediate emotional relief. The new sentence remembers continuity. It keeps room for tomorrow. It keeps room for the next conversation. It keeps room for recovery. It keeps room for information not yet available. The chamber beneath the courtyard was not emptied simply because the household felt anxious. Its purpose was understood. You are learning to understand the purpose of keeping something within yourself. A little attention not spent on comparison. A little energy not spent on proving. A little hope not spent on prediction. A little time not given away before you have considered the request. A little kindness not reserved only for other people. These may seem intangible. They influence everything that follows. When attention is not consumed by fear, you can see more clearly. When energy is not consumed by proving, you can use it where it matters. When hope is not consumed by prediction, you can remain open without becoming reckless. When time is not given away automatically, you can choose more honestly. When kindness includes you, correction becomes easier to sustain. You may have thought that harshness created discipline. Look at the long-term result. Did harshness help you return regularly? Did it help you ask for support early? Did it help you learn without hiding? Did it help you review honestly? Or did it make every practical task emotionally expensive? A useful discipline is repeatable. It can survive an imperfect day. It does not depend on hating yourself into motion. You can build discipline through smaller agreements. A set time to review one matter. A promise to ask before assuming. A decision to wait before responding under pressure. A commitment to speak without insults. A plan to seek professional guidance when the stakes require it. These agreements become channels. They guide your attention toward what can be held and used. Without channels, every concern spreads across the whole courtyard. One problem occupies every hour. One decision colors every relationship. One uncertainty becomes the emotional weather of the entire day. A channel gives the concern a path. This is where I will look at it. This is who I will contact. This is the question I need answered. This is the part I can act on now. This is the part that must wait. The concern remains real. It stops flooding every area of your life. This is another form of inner steadiness, not the absence of responsibility, the presence of proportion. You can let a difficult matter have a place without giving it every place. You can let an unanswered question remain one question. You can let a mistake remain one mistake. You can let another person's reaction remain their reaction. You can let a delay remain a delay. The old sentence turns each into a verdict. The new structure gives each an appropriate space. This may require repetition. You may have to say, "This is one part of my life." You may have to say, "This does not define every future outcome." You may have to say, "I can return to this at the time I chose." You may have to close the document, stand up, and let your body know that the review has ended for today. The mind may keep reopening the matter. Bring it back. The next step is already named. I do not need to solve it again tonight. I can rest and return. Even in a soft day, there can be a place where effort ends. You are permitted to let one task be enough. You are permitted to let one honest look count. You are permitted to stop before depletion. The old sentence may insist that stopping means you do not care. Stopping can mean you are preserving enough clarity to care again tomorrow. The courtyard was not protected by using every drop at once. It was protected by remembering future need. You can practice this with your attention. Do not use all of it on one fear. You can practice this with your body. Do not wait until exhaustion removes the choice to pause. You can practice this with your voice. Do not spend it explaining your boundary to someone committed to misunderstanding it. You can practice this with your hope. Do not demand that one result prove the whole future. Use what is needed. Keep what must remain. This balance will not look identical every day. Some days require more effort. Some days require more rest. Some situations require immediate action. Some require patient gathering of information. Some relationships deserve another conversation. Some have already given enough evidence. You are not following a rigid formula. You are becoming more present. Presence helps you recognize what the moment actually asks. The old sentence may offer a familiar answer before the question is fully understood. Give more. Hide more. Work harder. Ask less. Expect disappointment. You can pause the old answer. What is being asked now? Is this truly mine? Is this sustainable? Is there another option? What information would make this clearer? The pause may change the whole direction of the response. You may discover that the request is smaller than your fear made it. You may discover that someone else can share the task. You may discover that the deadline can be discussed. You may discover that the arrangement is not acceptable. You may discover that the right answer is yes, the goal is not to say no more often. The goal is to choose more consciously. A conscious yes feels different from a fearful yes. It has your presence inside it. A conscious no feels different from a defensive no. It protects without needing to punish. A conscious pause feels different from avoidance. It has a purpose and a point of return. You are learning these differences through use. You may not always identify them immediately. Review afterward. Did the choice leave you clear or resentful? Did you have enough information? Did you feel pressured to answer? Did you include your own capacity? Did the agreement respect both sides? The purpose of review is not to grade yourself. It is to understand the structure. Where did the passage narrow? Where did guilt enter? Where did you remain steady? Where did support help? Where did you need more time? This information strengthens future choices. You are becoming a careful keeper of your own inner space, not controlling every thought, not forbidding every fear, caring for what is permitted to settle into authority. A fear can enter. It does not have to direct. A memory can enter. It does not have to predict. Another person's opinion can enter. It does not have to become your law. A difficult fact can enter. It does not have to become an insult. You decide what is examined, what is used, and what is released. This is not total control. It is stewardship. You are caring for the place from which your choices rise. The quality of that place matters. When the inner chamber is filled with contempt, every decision is made under attack. When it is filled with fantasy, warning signs may be ignored. When it is filled only with fear, possibility disappears. You are creating a more honest mixture. Facts, compassion, caution, possibility, practical action, appropriate support, room for revision. No single part needs to dominate. This is a balanced reserve. It does not promise a perfect life. It supports a more grounded response. You can let this understanding move into shorter statements now. Not because the deeper work is finished, because the mind sometimes needs words simple enough to carry into an ordinary moment. Let each line have its own place. Do not force yourself to believe more than you can hold. Let the sentence meet you where you are. I am safe enough to look. I face facts with dignity. I can learn what I need. I ask before assuming. I pause before agreeing. I respect my own capacity. I keep room for thought. I keep room for support. I keep room for tomorrow. I do not rush from shame. I do not decide from panic. Image I can seek clear guidance. I can ask a better question. I can change my approach. I can repair a mistake. I can return after avoidance. I let one step count. I let one lesson remain. I accept appropriate help. I keep my judgment. I welcome honest clarity. I choose sustainable generosity. I release guilty overgiving. I am included in my choices. My needs can be named. My limits can be spoken. My work can be valued. My time deserves care. My attention deserves care. My future deserves preparation. I can rest before depletion. I can stop without failing. I can continue without punishment. I can want more peace. I can value what is here. I can grow without betrayal. I can change with love. I can hold a good moment. I can accept sincere praise. I can keep what supports me. I can release what controls me. I can recognize enough. I can build steadiness. I can practice trust. I can remain open. I can remain discerning. I can move with care. I can choose again. I can receive. I can keep. I can rise. Steady choices, clear limits, honest questions, useful support, calmer action, growing trust, room within, enough today, dignity kept. You do not need to repeat every line later. One may stay with you. Perhaps it is the line that brings relief. It may be the line that brings resistance. The line that brings resistance may be showing you where the old sentence still expects control. Do not fight it. Stay curious. I am included in my choices. May feel uncomfortable if you were trained to disappear. My work can be valued. May feel difficult if humility was confused with self-reduction. I can rest before depletion. May feel wrong if exhaustion was your proof of goodness. I can accept appropriate help. May feel dangerous if support once carried hidden demands. Meet the discomfort with a bridge. I am learning to include myself. I am learning to speak clearly about value. I am learning to pause before exhaustion. I am learning to evaluate support. The bridge keeps truth inside the practice. You do not need to pretend that years of conditioning have vanished. You are changing the direction. Direction matters. A small change repeated can lead to a different place. The stone channel did not need to move the entire courtyard. It only needed to guide what entered. Your new sentence does not need to control every thought. It needs to guide the next response. When you check a number, let it guide you toward breath and facts. When you feel guilt, let it guide you toward the question, have I actually done harm? When you are asked for something, let it guide you toward your capacity. When you receive praise, let it guide you toward a simple thank you. When you make a mistake, let it guide you toward repair. When you need help, let it guide you toward a trustworthy source. This is how the practice leaves the page and enters your life. One response, one choice, one return. You may not feel transformed while it is happening. The household above the hidden chamber may not have felt the stone becoming useful each day. Its value appeared through continuity. Your value is also being built through continuity. You return to honesty. You return to care. You return to practical action. You return to the sentence. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. Not everything must enter. Not everything must stay. What is useful can be held. What is harmful can be released. What is unclear can be examined. What is beyond your knowledge can be brought to someone qualified. What belongs to another person can be returned to them. What belongs to you can be met with dignity. You are not empty. You are not closed. You are becoming prepared, prepared to look, prepared to ask, prepared to choose, prepared to keep enough of yourself present for the life ahead. The courtyard remains ordinary. That is part of its beauty. No spectacle is required. You do not need a dramatic moment to prove that the old sentence is ending. It ends each time it is not obeyed. It ends each time you keep a boundary. It ends each time you accept care. It ends each time you replace insult with inquiry. It ends each time you let a good moment remain. It ends each time you protect enough energy to continue. The ending may happen quietly. A different answer, a slower breath, a clear request, a practical appointment, a rested body, a fairer agreement, a word of appreciation accepted without denial. Quiet changes are still changes. You are not waiting for permission to make them visible. You are already practicing. You are already clearing the passage. You are already shaping room. You are already keeping what can support a steadier life. There is no need to force the old sentence out of you. What has been repeated for years may continue to echo for a while. An echo is not a command. It is sound traveling through a place that is changing. You can hear it and remain where you are. You can hear it and choose differently. You can hear it without building another day around it. The deepest change may begin when you stop treating every return of fear as proof that nothing has changed. Fear may return because a situation resembles something difficult from the past. Guilt may return because you have made a choice that includes you. Urgency may return because you are learning not to answer before you are ready. The old response may still rise first. Your new response can rise next. That next response matters. It is the moment in which the old sentence meets a new keeper. You are the keeper now, not a guard who must control every thought. A keeper who understands what deserves protection. Your dignity deserves protection. Your attention deserves direction. Your effort deserves proportion. Your future deserves preparation. Your present deserves to be lived before every uncertainty is solved. You are not required to keep fear from ever entering. You are learning not to give it the entire chamber. Let fear occupy the space required for a useful warning. Let facts occupy their proper space. Let questions have space. Let support have space. Let rest have space. Let a good moment have space. Let your own voice have space. The old sentence survived partly by crowding everything else out. It spoke quickly. It spoke repeatedly. It used the language of certainty. It said the worst outcome was inevitable. It said your limitations were permanent. It said asking would expose you. It said receiving would cost too much. It said keeping anything for yourself would make you unkind. You do not need to answer with another absolute claim. You can answer with something more grounded. I do not know the whole future. I can know the next step. I do not control every response. I can speak clearly. I cannot prevent every mistake. I can learn and repair. I may feel afraid. I can remain present. This is enough to interrupt the old authority. You do not need certainty to choose respect. You do not need proof that everything will work out before you stop attacking yourself. You do not need a perfect plan before you begin gathering useful information. You do not need everyone's approval before you acknowledge what is sustainable. You do not need to become fearless before you ask for fair treatment. A steadier life is not created by waiting until every inner conflict disappears. It is created by making better choices while some conflict is still present. You may feel guilt and keep the boundary. You may feel nervous and ask the question. You may feel uncertain and seek guidance. You may feel disappointed and refuse to turn the disappointment into a verdict. You may feel relief and let the relief remain. The feeling does not have to decide the action alone. It can be heard alongside facts, values, limits, and experience. This is how inner maturity grows, not through the removal of emotion, through a wider place in which emotion can be held. The hidden chamber beneath the courtyard did not make the weather simple. It made the household less dependent on one moment of weather. Your new inner structure does not make life predictable. It makes your self-respect less dependent on one result. One rejection does not empty you. One mistake does not erase your capacity. One delay does not define your timing. One difficult season does not own your identity. One person's opinion does not become the final measurement of your work. One anxious thought does not become the truth about your future. You are learning continuity. You continue after disappointment. You continue after correction. You continue after rest. You continue after receiving help. You continue after changing your mind. You continue without needing to pretend that every step is easy. Continuity is quieter than urgency. It does not demand a dramatic promise. It asks for a return. Return to the facts. Return to your breath. Return to the question that actually needs an answer. Return to the boundary that protects what matters. Return to the person qualified to help with what exceeds your knowledge. Return to the sentence that keeps the inner passage open. I keep room for steady, supported prosperity. Let the sentence mean what it has earned the right to mean. It means you do not fill every pause with a prediction. It means you do not empty yourself to earn belonging. It means you do not treat support as a threat before you understand it. It means you do not confuse harshness with responsibility. It means you prepare without worshiping fear. It means you keep enough of yourself present to make the next choice. The sentence belongs beside action, beside the budget you may need to review, beside the question you may need to ask, beside the professional guidance you may need to seek, beside the expense you may need to reconsider, beside the compensation you may need to discuss, beside the boundary you may need to state, beside the rest that may help you think clearly. It walks with you. It does not do the walking for you. That honesty protects the practice from becoming another demand. You are not being told that the correct words will produce a perfect outcome. You are being reminded that the words you live beneath influence how you participate. A sentence of shame narrows participation. A sentence of dignity can widen it. It can help you remain in the conversation. It can help you return to the document. It can help you ask for clarification. It can help you tolerate the disco, effort of learning. It can help you accept that responsible change often happens slowly. Slow change is still change. A channel cleared a little at a time can carry what once spilled away. A wall repaired patiently can hold through another season. A chamber cared for consistently can remain useful for generations. Your choices today may become part of what others learn from you. They may hear you speak about difficulty without humiliation. They may see you ask for help without surrendering your agency. They may watch you set a limit without withdrawing love. They may learn that planning is not panic. They may learn that a mistake can be discussed. They may learn that a good moment can be enjoyed without guilt. This is how an inheritance changes, not through denial of what came before, through a new response added to it. You can carry gratitude for those who endured. You can carry compassion for what they feared. You can carry the lessons that remain useful. You do not have to carry every conclusion they formed under pressure. Some conclusions belong to their season. Some protections belong to your childhood. Some rules have completed their work. You can release the rule and keep the wisdom. Keep careful attention. Release constant alarm. Keep generosity. Release self-erasure. Keep preparation. Release punishment. Keep humility. Release self-reduction. Keep responsibility. Release contempt. Keep love. Release the demand that love must hurt you to be real. You may need to make this choice many times. Each choice counts. The chamber becomes trustworthy because you return to its care. You clear what blocks it. You protect its edges. You use what it holds with intention. You do not demand that it prove its worth through spectacle. Your inner steadiness deserves the same patience. You may not see every result immediately. Look for the quieter signs. A pause where panic once rushed. A question where shame once hid. A boundary where resentment once grew. A thank you where praise was once refused. a return where avoidance once continued, a practical step where self-attack once consumed the day. These are not small signs. They are the new sentence becoming behavior. Let the behavior become evidence. Let the evidence become trust. Let trust become a deeper place within you, a place that can hold uncertainty without turning it into identity, a place that can hold support without turning it into debt, a place that can hold progress without turning it into guilt, a place that can hold responsibility without turning it into punishment, a place that can hold hope without turning it into fantasy. You do not have to fill this place all at once. Keep it available. Keep it honest. Keep it protected. Keep it open. When the old sentence speaks, let there be room for another voice. When urgency rises, let there be room for one breath. When guilt arrives, let there be room for one honest question. When support appears, let there be room to evaluate it. When you make a mistake, let there be room for repair. When something good happens, let there be room for it to be good. No apology, no prediction, no immediate shrinking. Just one moment held. One moment becomes practice. Practice becomes familiarity. Familiarity becomes a new inner home. You have spent enough time living beneath a sentence you did not consciously choose. You can choose what is repeated now, not because repetition controls life, because repetition trains attention. It reminds you what kind of person you are becoming when pressure tries to make you forget. You are becoming someone who looks, someone who asks, someone who learns, someone who repairs, someone who accepts appropriate support, someone who keeps dignity inside practical action, someone who knows that enough room within can change the quality of every next step. Let the old sentence become quieter through lack of obedience. Let the new sentence become stronger through use. Let your choices become less crowded by inherited fear. Let the courtyard of your daily life remain ordinary. Walk across it with more presence. Speak from it with more clarity. Stand within it without apologizing for the structure beneath you. The reserve is not visible to everyone. You know it is there. A place for thought, a place for truth, a place for support, a place for tomorrow, a place for enough. Your life does not need to become empty for you to be loved. Your strength does not need to become exhaustion before it is respected. Your care does not need to exclude you. Your future does not need to be carried in one fearful moment. Keep that room. Keep dignity. Keep learning. Keep choosing. Keep returning. I rise and keep room for enough. Keep rising. Life is with you. May every step above the hidden chamber grow steadier.